Hello, my name is Dr. Rohit Sinha. I'm one of the GI Clinical Research Fellows here at Royal Infirmary and the University of Edinburgh in Edinburgh, United Kingdom. I would like to thank GI Endoscopy for inviting me to discuss my paper and take the opportunity to thank my supervisors, Professor Hayes and Professor Pleveris in our unit. I'm going to discuss my paper, The Use of Hemostatic Spray as an Adjunct to Conventional Hemostatic Measures in High-Risk Non-Variceal Upper GI Bleeding. As we all know, endoscopic management of non-variceal upper GI bleeding is a challenging one. The best current practice implores endoscopists to apply at least two modalities of endotherapy, the choice largely between adrenaline, hemostatic clips, and/or contact thermal device. A fairly new addition to the armament is a proprietary hemostatic nanopowder being marketed as Hemospray. The question arises as to why did we do the study? Occasionally we are faced with a high-risk bleeding lesion where application of a second agent is not possible. Such could be an event where it's an awkward anatomical position, distortion of lesion, post-injection, or a large fibrotic base with a vessel precluding application of both a clip or a thermal device. There is evidence to support that adrenaline as a monotherapy provides an unsustained hemostasis, particularly with high bleeding events in high-risk groups such as Forest 1A and 1B lesions. It is in this group we aim to explore the potential hemostatic role of Hemospray as either a second agent complementing prior adrenaline application and as a third agent complementing a combination of adrenaline with hemostatic agent or a contact device. How did we do the study? This was a retrospective observational study over a period of 2 years between 2013 and 2015, where Hemospray was either applied as a second agent to adrenaline or as a third agent to conventional dual therapy in a high-risk peptic ulcer bleeding lesions. Our outcomes of interest were initial hemostasis, 30-day rebleeding events, and 30-day mortality. We compared these outcomes with similar lesions treated prior to the introduction of Hemospray in our unit between the years 2010 and 2013. What did we find? The two groups were comparable with regards to measured variables such as demographic age, gender, severity as judged by full Rockwell and Blatchford scores, pre-endoscopy antithrombotic use. When Hemospray is combined with either single modality, in our case adrenaline, or with a conventional dual therapy, we observed an initial hemostasis rate of 95%, a rebleeding rate of 25%, and a 30-day mortality of 5%. Compared to similar lesions treated in conventional measure without the addition of Hemospray, it had a relatively lower initial hemostasis of 80%, higher rebleeding rate of 67%, and a 30-day mortality of 30%. We do acknowledge the limitations such as retrospective nature of the study, small number of cases, and the use of Hemospray as the discretion of endoscopist. Nevertheless, it does raise an important question whether there is a role of Hemospray in high-risk non-variceal bleed as a belt and brace approach. To conclude, our data supports the role of Hemospray in cases where application of second hemostatic modality is not technically feasible. Furthermore, it can bolster hemostasis when initial hemostasis is not achievable with standard combination therapy. Trials comparing Hemospray alone and in various combination with existing agents in high-risk bleeding group will be required to establish its optimal place in the hemostatic armamentarium. I would like again to thank my supervisors and GI Endoscopy to inviting me to discuss my paper. Thank you.